Arla Colette. When Arla was a small child of 6, she was playing in the dirt with sticks in her grandmother's backyard. She was approached by what she described as a hairy boy. She was not afraid, probably because she was not taught to be afraid, like some of us are at that tender age. The two children simply looked at each other before the hairy one casually turned and walked off. It was the beginning of a beautiful, lifelong relationship with the forest people. I think Arla and I are very much alike in the sense that we both consider ourselves to be experiencers rather than investigators. The message the forest people have for us is far more important than offering proof of their existence to a skeptical world. A few years back, Arla graced me with a visit to my hometown in British Columbia. She was well received by the locals, and my clan leader, Arla, took the opportunity to greet her personally. Here is my account of what transpired, guided by her thoughtful insight. The greeting. The Green Tank Trail is a personal favorite, and the fact that it was not a long hike was a welcome bonus. Seeing as a modest group of 5 of us had just completed an overnight trek to a sandy riverside retreat, smack dab into the heart of my clan's home. Sue decided that it was important that I spend some time alone with Arla, and I decided to take her for a short jaunt up to the Green Tank Trail, while Sue busied herself with the mundane duties of camp chores. Arla and I were less than 100 yards along our trail when she paused and gazed attentively to our right. Her attention captured by something high above the ridgeline. "It's Arla," she said, pointing upward. "Can you see him?" I didn't. But Arla had the benefit of multiple decades of experience with our forest friends, our forest hosts. Well, I was just a couple of years into my journey. It was simply not my time. That did not prevent me from trying to see. However, every time I tried to focus in on what she was witnessing, I was distracted with an enthusiastic flurry of woodnogs originating to our left down the tree-dotted slope. Their efforts were well coordinated because every time I looked back, they would cease, only to resume with unbridled enthusiasm when I gazed upward. The comical aspect of their efforts did not escape me, however, and I remember smiling broadly. Arla, or Ma, as I affectionately call her, told me that Arla was sitting high up on the ridge, gazing down on us with a broad Cheshire cat-like grin. When I attempted to look up, he would simply duck behind a tree or dissipate into thin air. "He's huge," she remarked. "His head is massive." She later stated that he could have been as tall as 13 feet, and while she had seen at least one individual in her home state of Oklahoma that was slightly taller, Ari's massive shoulders and overall girth far exceeded any she had personally seen. Initially, when I focused on her, transfixed on our friendly giant, I could not help but notice the depth of her emotion. She seemed to be laughing and crying at the same time. Such was the intensity of feeling he stirred in her. At one point, Ma uttered a soft sigh, indicative of something particularly deep and tender. And I asked her, "Ma, what's going on?" "He just kissed my heart with big cartoon lips," she said. The intense purity of love from Ari's loving gesture shook Ma to her very core. I will never forget the look on her face and the emotions that she openly displayed. "There is something special ahead for you," Ari told her. Along with the obvious display of love was another element. Ari was a comic, a tease, and he grinned and laughed openly as he enjoyed the obvious rapport between the two of them. "The white-haired boy, me, is nosy," he said. Along with his light-hearted, good-natured dig was an obvious love he had for me. and the feeling is mutual. I cannot begin to describe it in words. At one point, Ma offered the big man a question, the specifics of which I am uncertain of. However, his response was clear. "Why do you ask me a question you already know the answer to?" Then Ari asked her a question. "Who are you?" Well, Ma can dish it out with the best of them, and she cheekily replied, "Why do you ask me a question you already know the answer to?" Ari's broad grin and bellowing laugh betrayed the obvious enjoyment and glee he was feeling from their interactions. Their telepathic joust went on for some time, and they exchanged volley after volley that finally ended in a well-earned draw. It was great fun. "Will you be back, little one?" he asked her. I am not privy to her answer, but I know what I would have said, and how I would have responded. "Why do you ask me a question you already know the answer to?" Before Arla returned home a few days later, Ari guided little one to a rotting red cedar stump, where he had placed a parting gift. The bulk of the red cedar stump formed a clever A glyph, Ari's personal signature. The horizontal piece that formed the A was delicately balanced, propped up with a small peeled away section of the stump. The offering was a circle-shaped stone. It signified that the connection between his family and Arla's clan of Sasquatch people from back home in Oklahoma. Ari's daughter Raj had traveled to Oklahoma to find her mate Forshna, a big rangy old Okie boy. The gift rock was also a testament to the family connection between them, and in essence, the family connection of everything. That treasured stone occupies a special place in their heart, and is proudly displayed in a place of honor in her home.